Hello and welcome to the Garian Tabletop. I am Garian Reaver and this is a Farways devlog. Let's talk lizards. Just kidding, they're amphibians. It's the Ardentri. Remember, this game is a work in progress. Leave your feedback in the comments or join us on the Garian Reaver Discord, linked in the description. All the release rules are on the Farways Lab, also linked. Also, hello, quick thing, this is being recorded like a day before the video goes out. Apologies, there haven't been any devlogs or updates about the Farways for a couple of months. I've been going through some health issues and it made it hard for me to work on this, but hopefully I'm back now. I'm mostly feeling better, but not fully. But yeah. Among those in the post-poc who concern themselves with scientific reasoning, the question of how the Ardentri gains sentience is an impenetrable mystery. Although numerous genera and species flash evolved in the aftermath of the apocalypse, almost all of them displayed increased intelligence prior to the radiation. This foundation was then built upon to produce the many sentient Viechkind and Thalborn that exist. Ardentri, descended from salamanders, do not fit this pattern. Whatever the reason for their rapid development, Ardentri were first encountered in the southern parts of the old UE, where both known species were discovered with established homes. Although they've spread across vast areas, independent groups of Ardentri tend to stick very close to their nests, venturing out for food or other needed resources. This makes travelling Ardentri a very rare sight, but some do maintain trade and communication routes. When forced to fight, Ardentri have numerous advantages over their opponents. The most obvious is their highly toxic skin. One touch is enough to cause damage, and prolonged contact can easily be fatal for whatever has offended the Ardentri. This has led to a grapple-based fighting style among younger Ardentri. The other, less obvious benefit to their physiology is their ability to heal. Like their salamander ancestors, Ardentri can recover from almost any injury if given enough time. Lost limbs, bullet wounds, anything short of death is a temporary condition. Patient and watchful Ardentri get a +2 and a +1 to different stats, one of which must be OBS. They have a single Genus trait, but it's double-barreled. I might need to take a look at it for mutant balancing, but for now it is Salamandra. The physiology of Ardentri seems incredible, blessed with powers of poison and healing. With toxic skin to deter attackers, and the almost unbelievable ability to regenerate damaged limbs and organs, they can seem unstoppable. Once per turn, while making skin contact with another creature, you can choose to secrete poison. The other creature must pass a body res check versus res, or take 1d8 toxic damage. Also, if you lose a limb or receive any other permanent damage but survive, roll 1d20 and add 20. The permanent damage will be fully regenerated after that many days. Healing of permanent injuries isn't an easy feat. Even with the incredible technology of the modern world, it's basically always easier to replace things with cybernetics than try to recover the natural parts. Ardentri can do this as a matter of time. Their poison skin is similar to the Moraith, but more potent. It could be said that the name of this species, taken from their ancestors, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Descended from the fire salamander, fire Ardentri do not have any inherent abilities involving heat. It would actually make more sense for them to be called poison, but that hasn't stopped the Ardentri from embracing the title. Somehow hearing of the ancient myths about salamanders being born from flame, it is anomalously common for them to carry fire-based weaponry. Their black skin dotted with colours like yellow, red or orange, they are fairly distinct from their stone kin, and this serves as a warning to threats. If all Ardentri are poisonous, fire Ardentri are downright toxic. With additional glands that produce a liquid version of their contact poison, fire are able to spray it from a patch under each cheek. Combining that with their toxic skin, there are many monsters that will not eat an Ardentri, but that doesn't mean they won't kill one. As fire Ardentri grow older, they remain independent far longer than the average human of their age would. It's unclear if this is connected to their regenerative abilities, but it's notably not a trait shared by stone Ardentri. It's not uncommon to meet individuals age 70 and up who still actively hunt and work, with rumours circulating of a few fire who are still up and about at almost 100 years old. Fire Ardentri get poison spray as their species trait. In addition to their poisonous skin, a fire Ardentri can expel poisons in a short-range burst from patches on their face. Once per turn at a cost of 6 meters, you can make an attack at something you're facing using the following profile. You are always considered adept with this attack. I'm yet to sit down and work out lifespans and stuff for all the genera. Set only a couple of hundred years after the apocalypse, we're not talking massive spans here. That said, I'd like the fire Ardentri to have a small trait that relates to their longevity. I guess it depends on whether there are rules for youth and old age. If there are, there'll likely be complex rules, so groups can choose not to use them if they'd rather not. Dwelling as their alpine salamander ancestors did among rocks and cliffs, stone Ardentri are very adept climbers. Only perhaps Elsterians can so easily navigate the vertically built villages that these evolved amphibians call home. Most commonly seen with entirely jet black skin, but the rare individuals sporting golden yellow patches, stone Ardentri scurry across sheer faces carefully crafted to secure their nests. More cautiously minded than their fire cousins, perhaps due to fewer active natural defences, most stone Ardentri would rather seek shelter in an unreachable location than confront a threat. This tactic hasn't always proven to work against the determined monsters of the post-apocalypse, but the close communities that nest together will come to each other's aid without a word. Where fire Ardentri can focus their poison into an offensive spray, stone have another use for it, an internal protection that overpowers any infections or illnesses. Having what could perhaps be described as hostile blood, their poison attacks unfamiliar bacteria to render them virtually immune to all but the most invasive diseases. Stone Ardentri get 2 traits, natural climber and hostile blood. They make their homes in hard-to-reach spots high on cliffs or rocks. You are not slowed by climbing and can climb most surfaces without equipment, including ones too smooth for most to climb. Climbing is another little jobby to work out. I keep a list of little rules and stuff to flesh out and fit into the system, and I'll get to them eventually. As for hostile blood, with poison coursing through their bodies, attacking unfamiliar infections, stone Ardentri are abnormally protected against disease. Whenever you have a body check related to a disease, treat any roll higher than a 15 as a 15. This overrides any effects of rolling a natural 20. To remind you of how body checks work, the hostile effect needs to roll higher than your body's score in order to affect you. Getting a very useful mobility trait, stone Ardentri are difficult to pin down in corners. Whether exploring a city or hiding up a rock face, they're capable of outmaneuvering most attackers. Their blood features an unusual mechanic for improving one's resistance. Rather than making it harder for things to work through rerolls, it effectively increases body score by 5. I'm toying with a few of these different methods of tweaking rolls. They add a bit of complexity, but ones like this are rare. They just allow a little finer control over how checks are handled. And that's it for the Ardentri. Not a lot of peripheral stuff to explain in this one, as a lot of the foundations are laid already. So let me know your thoughts. Join us on the Gary and Reaver Discord and check out the Farways Lab, both linked in the description. And don't forget, Gamverite merch is now available. Please share this round to your friends and gaming groups so that we can continue to grow and improve. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more Farways devlogs, or for board games, card games, miniatures, and TTRPGs like this. And I will catch you later.